good. You say you had to raise your hand for real in real life? Come on,
I
man.
did.
Come on,
Didn't
man.
seem to work out for me very well.
What's going on?
So what would you say you guys did well today during the scrimmage, and then maybe some things that you want to improve on, heading into this upcoming week?
I think those backs ran hard. I think they did a good job of creating, yards after contact, and and when they got the ball, they did some special things. I think the biggest thing we want to work on is basically just situational awareness, which will come. We're kind of just at the point where we're going through the install. He just kind of calling plays, but as those situations pop up, it's not like, hey, in practice, in a regular practice without scrimmaging, you say, hey, this is third and long period. Hey, this is third and short period. Now it's you got to be able to go from third and short to first and 10 to big play to minus play, and they have to, put themselves in those situations, the things that can and cannot happen. I think as that progresses, that's something we definitely got to improve on greatly.
Corey Clark. Corey, we can't hear you. No. Corey, we're going to skip you and go to Kurt. Kurt?
Hey, Alex, how's it going?
Good. How are you?
I'm doing good. We can talk about your unit, obviously. I know Coach Ravel talked, you were without a few guys and kind of had to shuffle a few guys around maybe to spots or with guys they hadn't been before. How did you kind of think your unit as a whole handled that?
No, I mean, it's good to have available bodies to be able to do it. We threw some young guys in there with the older guys and got them some good work. That's the best way to learn. So I was pleased with the willingness to go out there and fight and scramble, and we got to look at it. And the same thing I said about the whole offense, we got to know when that front changes and things kind of get moving, how to play with your eyes and how to adjust and how to play through some fatigue. In practice, a lot of times you got 3 and 4 play rotations. Now you get into a scrimmage, you got 6 to 8 to 12 play drives, So learning how to fight through those things, get to the end of those drives, fatigue that'll come as we're working through this. But what I was pleased with the young guys was just the willingness to go out there and scrap it up a little bit.
Corey?
We good now? Sweet. Hey, I was going to ask you, too, about the young guys, Alex. And, Mike said that they had to play, some of them got pushed up into roles maybe they weren't, maybe they were with guys they hadn't blocked with before.
Yep.
And I guess when you're looking at it, how do you balance knowing that they have a lot of work to do because they're young and they're going up against really good players,
Yep.
and also not wanting to use that as an excuse and want them to push forward and make plays?
Oh, it's never an excuse. Once you're out there, we're believing that the standard is the same once you touch the field, and the unit sends those guys out there. So the standard doesn't change when they're out there. Now, we come back and we grade the film because that's the best way you learn is you work. Nobody's learning how to play this game in the sideline watching with a notepad. You got to go out there and you got to play the game. You got to be in those situations, and you got to get your real life speed. Like the reality of it is, today was their measuring stick, so I get to see how they really are. We're still learning each other. Some of them just got here, so today that was their measuring stick. We'll grade it, get it to them, and then I get to watch them improve. And the guys that show the improvement from today to the next scrimmage, those are the real ones. Is what I told them. So or those are the ones that show that they're ready to go out there and compete. So I thought today was a great measuring stick, and I can't wait to see who puts in the work to improve from the beginning of the measuring stick who gets to the end.
Matt?
Alex, quarterback play, we know Jordan obviously has stepped up, but what did you see from some of the other guys, Tate, maybe AJ specifically?
What I liked about, of course, Jordan, I thought he had a really solid day. He created some plays, he got the ball downfield a little bit, kept the offense moving to change. I thought Tate is really, I think he's really good with his decision-making. I think his decision-makers have been on point. I think he's seeing the field a lot clearly. And, he's been improving, though. And AJ, I thought, had some stress early. Had to come through some adversity, but then when he responded, you got to see that smile that AJ loves to show. So once that smile came and he kind of settled in and had a little fun and he kind of relaxed and he started making some plays. So, he had a big play down there with Deuce. That was a fantastic throw. So I think all those guys collectively are showing a lot of improvement, and we've thrown a lot on them. We're not limited to this thing. We're throwing a lot on them. We got a lot of things in, a lot of checks and answers and things like that. So we're not holding back. So it's been challenging, but I like the progress that they're making.
Brendan?
Two players who Coach Norvell brought up earlier, you mentioned one of them just now was Deuce Spann, making some plays today. Guys, what did you see from him today? What have you seen from him this entire preseason? And the other player I wanted to ask you about was Rodney Hill, a young guy who seems like he's definitely had his moment so far.
Yeah, Deuce got to shine a little bit today to showcase his talent, which we knew what he had. So I think as he grows confident and comfortable, we'll get to see him keep progressing. Rodney, you know, another one. You know, we just throwing him out there. You know, letting him get those reps and letting him go against. He going against some older competition too. He was in there a couple of times with the older group. So just letting them guys get a feel and see what it's like and keep progressing and giving them more film to coach off and giving them more situations. You know, and just I think that's been the blessing of camp is that we're getting those guys in those situations, and it's not just, hey, you got to rep all these other guys. These guys are just watching and holding bags. No, man, we got some young guys getting some good work.
Aslan?
Your thoughts again on coaching Dimitri Emanuel? Just, I mean, I know it's several years ago, but just how much has he sort of grown, do you think, in the time since you last had him in Charlotte to what you've seen now about a week and change here in camp?
Yeah, well, me just fighting, you know, because I think he's getting used to the, you know, he told me, he said, man, y'all practice. I mean, we get some reps in around here and then it's some work, so I think he's adjusting to that. But I think he's fighting and showing a lot of toughness, and I think he's earned the respect in that room of a worker. So I've been pleased, and Meech is, you know, be able to come in the unit and kind of become a part of the unit rather quickly, where he just kind of blends in with the group. So I think the group has accepted him, and I think, you know, pushing forward, he's going to help us.
Matt?
Alex, I asked Mike this earlier about the identity of this team going into this season. He mentioned the no way. I want to ask you, what does the no way mean for you?
Well, when he talks about the no way, number one, we want to play smart. You know, we want to make sure, you know, Coach always says, you know, knowledge is our greatest power. So what we want to do is make sure our minds are locked in, our focus is locked in, and we want to make sure that we have the cheat codes to the game where we know where guys lined up and movements and fronts. We want to play with our mind first. And then once we do that, we play faster. So now, once I'm focused and I got the cheat codes, I play a little bit faster. Now that I play a little faster, I get my fundamental, my technique down. Now I play more physical. So it's like that growing process of, all right, okay, I got the information. I'm playing a little faster. Now I'm getting more technical. And then all I got to do is finish. And that's we talk about the no way, finishing everything that we do. So that's kind of that step process of how to become a great player and play in the no way. So, you know, we're seeing that right in front of our eyes kind of developing. It's been fun. You know, I'm pretty sure you see every coach that comes up here, we're having a good time with these guys, and we're getting some work in.
Aslan?
I know it all kind of blends together, everything with run game helping the pass game helping the run game, but what have you seen from the receivers and Jordan and Tate in this pass game, and is it going to kind of open things up for the run game, you think, this coming season for you guys?
Well, yeah, I mean, it's all, you know, when you're in fall camp, it's not really more of like a, hey, it's more like installing, putting guys in position to make plays and just calling plays like you're scheming the defense. So it's just more like we're just really still installing and still getting that things down and putting guys in position to kind of showcase their talent. But I do think we have guys that can make plays. So if we got guys that make plays, that's what opens up everything. So, you know, making sure we got guys in the right spot, making sure we're showcasing what they can do, that's still the ongoing process, and that's what opens things up, is making sure we got the right guys on the field who's making the plays and being productive.
Anything else for Coach? Okay, all set. Thank you.
No doubt.